Monday morning's devotional. I have something for you for this season. Jesus invites James and John to follow him. And he says this, "Do not fear. From now on, you will catch people." It's kind of a weird way to invite two men to follow you when you say, "Do not fear." I mean, why would he say that? The answer is this, because following Jesus was and is dangerous. I want you to go to Matthew chapter 10 this morning, and I want you just to read this. Jesus is sending out his followers to serve, and he tells them it's going to be dangerous and it's going to be hard. Here's what he says. He says, "I'm sending you out like sheep among wolves. Be on your guard. You will be handed over to the local council and be flogged in the synagogue. But when they arrest you, don't worry about what you will say or how you'll say it. You will be hated by everyone because of me." I mean, hey, welcome to the club. It's going to be really rough. And then he says in verse 26, "So do not be afraid of them." Then in verse 28, he says, "Do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell." And then in verse 31, he reiterates again, "So don't be afraid. You are worth far more than many sparrows." Let me tell you something today as you live. Do not fear. When this pandemic first began, everybody said how bad it was going to be. And we know this. It is not nearly as bad and as threatening as everybody predicted. We know this from statistics. We know that there are groups of people who are susceptible to COVID-19. But the majority of the population, COVID-19 is not a threat. We follow county guidelines to protect the vulnerable, right? But listen, there are many of you, you're living in fear. So I want to give you some advice. Here it is. From Jesus to you, it goes like this. Stop it. Don't live in fear. Fear was inappropriate for Jesus' followers 2,000 years ago, even though they faced jail, beatings, hardship. And he's like, you don't understand. Our Father cares for you. He will be with you. Make note of this. He didn't promise that nothing would touch them and nothing would harm them. That's foolish Christianity. That's actually not even Christianity. That's a form that some religious people go, God would never let anything bad happen to me. That's just foolishness. So I will say this. Don't fear. And it doesn't matter that you're never going to get something. It doesn't mean that you're not going to contract COVID at some point. But I know it with 100% that is wrong. It's the wrong Christian response to live in fear. You can live with cautions. You can live by taking precautions. But you cannot live in fear. It's the wrong response. So today, read Matthew chapter 10 and all the places where he says, do not fear. And ask the question, am I living in fear? Or am I living boldly, fearlessly, but with some precautions? I think that's what God wants for you and for his people today. By the way, if you were following us last week and you saw that there is a petition online to sign to support churches to reopen safely, click the link below. And if you haven't signed that yet, please do so and forward that on to others. Go back to our e-news from Friday and listen to that because there's a lot of helpful information in there. God bless you guys. Have a great day.